Forget everything you've been told about Atlantis. I was there. I saw it, and what I saw changes everything. Atlantis, not a crystal city, not underwater pyramids or mermaids, just the truth. For thousands of years, Atlantis has been a story, myth, legend, and let's be honest, some seriously creative embellishments. But what if I told you it wasn't quite what you think? Let's take a journey back to Atlantis and finally attempt to solve one of the greatest ancient mysteries of all time. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Trevor, if you haven't joined me before. So how is it possible that I could have seen Atlantis? Well, I'm a natural-born clairvoyant, and when you see something, you can't unsee it. So imagine there is a theme park, and this theme park is walled off, and no one can see inside. And imagine you can fly in and have a bird's eye view, and just for a moment, glimpse into this theme park and see what there is. So it's not to say that you're seeing every detail of it, but you've seen what's inside, and that's what I'm going to present today. So where did the story of Atlantis come from? So the oldest known account of Atlantis comes from Plato in Timaeus and Critias, 360 BCE. He describes a vast, powerful civilization beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which is the modern-day Straits of Gibraltar. And he said Atlantis was built in 5 consecutive rings of land and water, with stunning temples and advanced technology. But corruption led to its downfall, and it was ultimately swallowed up by the sea. And although this may not all be correct, let's have some respect for the ancient philosopher Plato, and we'll see why. And we'll also remember that Aristotle, Plato's own student, thought he made it up. And honestly, the story of Atlantis grew more magnificent over the millennia. The Atlanteans were advanced beings who chose to live separately from humanity. They weren't beach-going, cocktail-sipping mystics. They were an ancient civilization with knowledge far beyond what we can imagine so far. They deliberately chose isolation, not out of arrogance, but out of necessity. Their wisdom, their technology, and their spiritual advancements were on a different level. However, they didn't completely abandon humanity. Instead, they guided from a distance, subtly influencing many civilizations, teaching universal laws and leaving behind knowledge encoded in myth, sacred sites, and even some of the wisdom traditions of the ancient cultures like the Maya. While creating this video on Atlantis, the Atlantean appeared again, and thoughts entered into my consciousness. So although I thought this was a failure, because this was my second attempt, the first attempt was a failure, this attempt I at least got to see what Atlantis looked like from a bird's eye view, which you're going to see in a moment. But it still felt like a failure to me. I felt like I didn't have the full experience. So while making this video, this ancient Atlantean appeared once more and inserted these thoughts into my consciousness that maybe there's a chance I could experience more in the future. So in the past I've said that when spirit or these higher beings show us something, they don't necessarily give us this experience again. We've really got to pay attention and make it successful the first time. So I'm hoping that there will be a third journey to Atlantis. So how this really happened for me, I was lying in bed, almost about to fall asleep, and a gold light started to appear up above me. And as I looked into the gold light, and my third eye came into focus, there was the ancient Atlantean, or what you would call an alien or extraterrestrial being. And this wasn't a dream, it's not a theory. It was almost as if I was in a trance-like state between worlds, in other words, between this world and the next, or in a higher state of consciousness. And suddenly, as my vision came into focus, I saw myself soaring over the ocean, and there in front of me, below me, was Atlantis. And as I'd looked at Atlantis, I thought, how could this be? This doesn't look like Atlantis. Because you must remember, for 50-something years now, everything we've seen of Atlantis is other people's creative imagination. And really, a picture says 1,000 words. So when we look here at this picture of Atlantis, no, not the one floating to the left. Here we can see Atlantis with the 5 rings, but look, there are actually 2 islands made up of 5 rings of sand and water. So thanks to Paul for creating this image for me. It's not 100% correct. All the rings are sealed off, so we can actually see Plato's account was quite correct with the 5 rings. So what I can't really remember is, was the center water or was it a solid piece, but really made up of 5 rings, I would say, of earth. And they are slightly situated further to the right, as we can see here, where they should be situated. And so this is what all the stories for so many years have been talking about. This is Atlantis. I know it may look a bit disappointing, but this is what I saw. And just take a look further in the distance. We can see there is a slight bit of a beach, and further against the cliffs we have these doorways, these chambers into the cliffs. So this really just brings about more questions. And when we look to the left of the cliffs, we can see there is some kind of housing that's scattered there. These houses or these structures were painted white. So some kind of places where somebody lived in. And so we can see the details of Atlantis. Here it is, exactly as in ancient times. Certainly not all the clickbait that we've been fed for so long. And I hope you're not disappointed with seeing this true image of Atlantis. And then these Atlanteans fled long before the destruction of Atlantis in their flying crafts. And in an instant, a huge wave just engulfed this entire island and shredded it, pulverized it. And I doubt really that Atlantis will ever be found, because if you do find Atlantis, what will be left of it? Are you going to find some ancient door with a handle? And that's not really going to show us much. And like I said, at least we can see there was some truth to Plato's account of Atlantis. And we also got to ask, where did Plato get this from? Did he have a vision, or was he taken to Atlantis? Plato was in Egypt, and he got this account from one of the priests in ancient Egypt. So we can really see that over the years, Atlantis has really become fabulous. A story plastered on stories, and just become absolutely amazing with time. But here is the real picture, just one more time. And there's more to the story that I haven't shared. And what caused this flood, and why does it reflect our future? This isn't just a story about the past, it's a key to humanity's future. And in this I realized something incredible, and that's for a future episode. Hit that like and subscribe button, and please leave your comments below.